What up, people of Dreadlock? Archie here, Baldo, and this one's gonna be and on top of my 21 month update because I didn't put much on there. So I'm gonna try and do something that actually this is supposed to be helping me do, which is explain something in a logical, rational way. I figure I'm gonna start off with. Sorry, I had coffee. Undoing a lock and my experience with it. So my first experience was with a lock that was probably about a month old. Now at this point I already had some other locks, like the majority, that were matured and done. But that one, by this point I had learned that hair that's grouped together tends to lock together. So over here I didn't pay so much attention to that, and I have hair that's loose from scalp and it actually reaches like all the way down to the end. That's pretty long. So I didn't want to have that on these. So, and because I constantly wear glasses, putting it on and off, it pulled the hell out of all that hair there. So I decided to redo one of these at about a month and some change maybe. So metal comb, and I like the metal combs because they have rounded tips at the end and they have the same diameter, so they don't widen out, they don't have a little point, and they don't have like a blade side that cuts hair when you're actually putting a little bit of tension on it. So just know I recommend the metal combs. They're usually for pet grooming, so you find them at a pet store if you're looking for those. Use that, bam. It was fairly easy at a month. However, just on a note, I could tell that a little bit between the glasses and the natural process was actually like locking. So around a month, I'd say, you could just expect like locking to start happening, like noticeable. So there was that. Overall, extremely easy. On the next time that I tried it again, and let me add a little caveat, I have silky straight hair. So it has its drawbacks and it has its pros. So on that note, where was I at? Undoing the next lock. I'll start from there. Anyway, so I was gonna undo another lock. Not like the whole thing. This one was actually gonna be for aesthetics. I wanted to have a brushed out end. Now, I blunted all my ends. When I added these two locks right here in particular, I did not blunt those ends. Those were the locks that I was just like, I'm gonna set them, and I thought I set them pretty alright. So I'm like, I'm just gonna set them, not mess with them, just have those going as an experiment. And then, I don't know, a few months recently, I was gonna do some maintenance. I actually started with that one. So where I was not gonna mess with those, I actually started the crocheting on that one, which is one of the ones I could have skipped because I didn't even do most of them. So I didn't skip it. I actually crocheted that one. Nonetheless, the bottom of that one was never blunted, so it just had the nargle bottoms, you know, like all. And I figured that'd be the easiest to unlock. Now, keep this in mind, I actually like how awkward that one looked, but I was like, that'll be the easiest. So I started on that one. And this is what I realized. It's frustrating, it's not cool, it's not easy, but I'm persistent. So the process included me with using like a safety pin, anything with like a single point, and I could get like a few strands out. This me trying like to get like a few in there just to get past that part took like over 2 weeks of me trying to be gentle with it. On the first week, you know, one of those on one of my washes during that week, I added conditioner. So I figured that helped. I added it to the whole, like to the bottom half. Continued to try, wasn't making much progress. Did another week goes by, washed it, conditioned it. Starts getting a little bit easier, but nothing major. And then I start thinking like, what happens when you're like I started thinking back, like literally, how can, like, why isn't this blah blah blah. I started like, you know, percolating ideas and whatnot. And so I figured, you know, like just simple thoughts, like it's like tying a shoe, you know, you got like over pulled, but you know you have to like pull from the bottom to pull the whole thing over, or like a hose, you know, you got a hose, got some knot somewhere. You know, you gotta get the end all the way through it because the other end is like tied, right? So that's what I figured. It's like one end is tied, then you got loose ends going in a certain direction, but then at the end you have all these like end knots where it's actually able to, you know, loop back. top it off, you add maturity to it. So now it's got maturity. It's actually like beyond the dreading. It's like matted. So, anyways, my mind, I was like, those need to get ripped or pulled out. And then since I can't put enough tension on it to pull them out, they're gonna rip. But I don't think it's gonna be more than that bottom part. Like I said, this would be time gauge. I'm guessing like full mature. I mean, like they were younger than most, but they were already past the year mark. That's about as close as a gauge I could get. So on that note, I started ripping it. Like I took one of my crochet needles and started pulling, and it pulled some, but then the ones that were like straight up tension, I didn't care at this point. I was like, bang, rip it. After I got like enough broken ends that I had like ends to work with, I grabbed the metal comb and like extremely just, I'm talking like few, like it didn't even look like you were going into the lock. It was just like a few hairs. Kept doing that. That little part was like the worst. So like the from maturity to matted, dreaded to matted, that was really difficult. But shortly after that, like, I was able to start grabbing like a 1 millimeter chunk, but now pull it down a little bit more and then work with that. And that would give me like a little bit of space on the top where I could like wiggle it and start pulling it out. And then it started looking just like tying your shoe. Like if you were gonna undo it, you know, the ends would come out. It would go through the whole thing, bang. And then I started seeing the little broken pieces of hair that were falling, you know. Like, they were broken. The biggest broken piece at the end was no bigger than this. So I figured those were just like the end loops getting broken. And after that, like I said, I started getting like the grouping actually like constantly. There's those just pulling more out. There are more. And I started doing this too, like not just pulling from here, but like started going in a diameter type, perimeter, where you start going around and pulling it out. After like 3 inches of that rough stuff, started becoming easier every time. By the time I got to like the top 5 inches, it was just like I was brushing it out. And then I panicked because I was like, whoa, I'm almost done doing the whole thing. So much for just doing the tips. But I figured this, like I got frustrated, like getting stuck on those, that by the time I got there, I was just going. And I undid a good bit of it. Easily like half of it is locked and the other half is not locked. So where is it? Oh, so here's a reference point. This is one of the two that were not blunted at the end by me, so it looked kind of like that. I mean, at least you get the idea. And these are the ones that I blunted myself, so they're so solid. Maybe I'm gonna do a video on the way I blunted it, because I'm actually pretty proud of it. Method, theory, and everything went into it, and it actually worked out. Where are you? There you go. No, you're not. Where is this? Alright, there you go. So, see, there's the loose root portion at the bottom. Here's the barely mature now portion. And here's where the part that I brushed out. I did snip like maybe 1/4 of an inch after I undid this, just to keep them all even, or relatively even. I did snip like bam, a little bit. So on a catch up, just like to wrap it all up, if I had to say something. More than likely, if I want to get rid of my locks, I'm cutting. But theoretically, if I wanted to keep up to like a year's worth of hair, I think I could do that without like pulling my hair out, because a little bit stressful. So this is what I would theoretically do. Let it grow out, whatever I have. Depending on the length, that's gonna be your stress level, how much you want to keep. But I think fairly easy. You take a year's worth of growth, you cut it, and you can brush that out relatively easy. So when people ask, can you brush them out? That's what I say. It's a stress thing. Like, that's a lot of dreads. I only needed one. But I figure if I have to do all of them and I cut them at about a year mark, I'd be able to handle it. Like I said, I got straight hair, so I think that helps a lot. Anywho, people with dreadlock, on this particular video, I would like to ask you for a favor, because I tried an explanation thing just to see if you guys want more of those, because I think that helps me learn how to spoke proper. That was a joke. But it helps me. So if you guys, not because you want to help me, but because you like the explanations, holler at me and give it a thumbs up. Now if you were just like, nah, don't do that, bro, give it a thumbs down. I seriously don't want to do it if you guys don't want it. So holler at me. Hopefully see you next month.